Do not adjust your TV set. There is nothing wrong with your picture. President Karen is, we're readjusting, it's been a while. President Karen is out sick today, so I am ably filling in. I hope I can do a good job. It's been a while. But I'm Sal Pizarro, your immediate past president, and I'd like to welcome you to the 5,402nd meeting of the Rotary Club of San Jose. Matt Robin and I are getting simpatico again with the mic, and I think we're good. Okay. So first off, according to what I have, it's time to sing. So if I could ask Sarah Klisch to make her way up here. There you are.
I pay attention.
You
You're supposed to be up here, ready to go.
It's a much tighter ship here.
I clearly see that. I would like to invite all of you to please stand. We are going to sing America the Beautiful, and today it is truly going to be a cappella as Jeremy is not here. So hopefully the key I choose, some of you can sing with me. So here we go. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plains. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Thank you all very much for joining me.
What a fun way to start out the meeting. Thank you, Sarah, and thank you everyone else for joining in. I'd also like to thank the Fun and Friendship Committee, chaired by Douglas Smith, for greeting us in the lobby today. And let's see, we've got some birthdays here in August, and celebrating today's birthday. I'm not sure if he's here, but Thomas Russell, maybe he's joining us on Zoom. So let's give a big round of applause for our birthdays. All right, if we could have our red badgers with the traveling microphones please stand up to introduce themselves. I will start on my left with Megan.
Hi, past President Sal. My name is Megan Tennisketter. I'm the CEO of Tennisketter Construction, and my sponsors are Arthur Weisbrot and John Ball.
Wonderful. Thank you, Megan. And Kelly.
Hello, past President Sal. I'm Kelly Dipple. I am a real estate advisor with Coldwell Banker, and Sarju is my sponsor.
And we'll be hearing a little bit more about Kelly later. Great to have you both. In fact, almost immediately. If visiting Rotarians and Rotarians with guests could please stand, and we'll get you introduced. All right, we'll start here with you, Dagmar.
Great. Hello, past President Sal. Great to see you up on stage again. I would like to introduce, my name is Dagmar Schildwack. My sponsor is Richard Ajluni. I know he's here, there. I would like to introduce my friend, Kim Stepp. She is the CEO and co-founder of Rise Equity, a diversity and equity and inclusion consulting agency, and she also serves as the vice chair of the Alzheimer's Association.
Great. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, Sal. My guest today is Kelly Snyder. Kelly is an endowed professor of practice in the San Jose State University Department of Urban and Regional Planning and director of the Certificate in Real Estate Development Program. She's an expert in urban land use and real estate, community and government relations. She's the principal and owner of a land use consulting business, Kelly Snyder Consulting. It's my privilege to host her visit to our Rotary Club.
Kelly Snyder, good to see you. Ms. Serpa.
Past President Sal, good to see you. Jean Serpa with Republic Services. I am so excited to introduce my son, Jack, who I hope is a future Rotarian. Jack is going into 7th grade at St. Christopher School, and he's a junior Shark hockey player.
Way to go. Thanks for joining us, Jack.
Hi, has been Sal. How are you?
Hi, has been Steve.
I'm honored today to introduce my new friend Chip Tremere. Chip is a recovering lawyer and an M&A expert. Please welcome Chip.
Chip, thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, Past President Sal. Good
Hi,
to see you
Howard.
again. Today, my guest is Blake Robert Hosfeld Ward. Some of you may recognize the name Robert Hosfeld, who was his grandfather and was a Paul Harris member of this club a couple of decades ago. And Blake is hoping to carry on the legacy. He also is a realtor at the agency, thus the outfit. Thank you.
Welcome, Blake. All right.
Hi, President Sal. I'm happy to introduce my guest today, my friend Shobha Katapali, who is the owner of Tasty Grill and the Village Hummus.
Welcome, Shobha. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, President Sal. My
Hello,
name is
Fred.
Alfreda Iganol, and I'm here to introduce my friend Chayamoli Benaji. She's a community leader from the Cupertino Rotary Club, and she's my sponsor on my Ghana project. And she worked with me on evaluating my project, and they contributed $10,000 towards my project.
Oh, thank you so much. We give our best to Cupertino Rotary.
Greetings from Cupertino Rotary.
We love our friends at Cupertino. Matt Bell.
Good afternoon, past President Sal and everyone. Pleased to introduce my guest today. Eddie Trong is a government affairs consultant here in San Jose.
Eddie, good to see you again.
I am a visiting Rotarian, Tammy Janisic from the Passport Club.
Oh, wonderful. Love having passport members here.
James Williams with Opera San Jose, and I'd like to introduce Stephanie Wallace. She just joined the opera 3 weeks ago as our major gifts officer.
Wonderful. Welcome, Stephanie.
Your Royal Highness, past.
Deposed. Mr. Reardon.
I'm happy to be here to introduce to you today former fire captain, which he's very proud of, and now city council member Byun Wong. And very nice to have him here. Very nice to have him here. And his deputy chief of staff, Jonathan Fleming, is here with him. Thank you.
Council member and Mr. Fleming, good to see you. You don't have one more to introduce? You don't have someone else to introduce? See how I keep you out of trouble?
Thank you. Thank you. I owe you one there. My best buddy, roommate, bedmate, and hugger, Dr. Gloria Duffy.
Alexandra.
Hi. Alexandra Urbanowski, SV Creates. My guest today is Alyssa Erickson, who is SV Creates Program Manager.
Great to have you here, Alyssa. All right. Okay, so having gone through that, welcome to all of you and those of you joining us on Zoom. We're going to move on to one of our favorite parts of the meeting, which is a new member introduction. If I could ask Sarju Naran to come up here to start introducing new members, starting with, I believe, Kelly, did you sit down? Okay. Starting with Kelly Dipple. Come on up. Sure. Let's bring her up.
Hi, everyone. Emily, you want to come on up also? Today, I actually have the pleasure of introducing two new members, and so we might as well do this at once, so you only have to hear from me once. All right, here we go, and we'll get Emily's picture up here in a minute, too. I've got the honor and privilege of introducing our two new honey badgers. Emily Rubalcaba and Kelly Dipple, despite their red badges, they prefer the term honey badger, since if you've ever seen any of those social media honey badger videos, you know that honey badgers are fierce, bold, and they kick ass. To that end, we all know that Rotary can benefit from having more strong, powerful, and influential women, and we cannot do any better than these two. So I'm really happy to have them both here. Kelly is someone I met a few years ago through Emily, so I embraced her immediately. She's homegrown, born and raised Bay Area gal. She comes to us with a lot of energy, drive, and passion that I know will add value to our Rotary chapter. In addition to her day job as a realtor with Coldwell Banker, Kelly is the founder of Silicon Valley Cares, which raises funds for local struggling nonprofits. She's a dame with the Knights of St. John, and she sat on several nonprofit boards. As importantly, Kelly is super fun, and I look forward to seeing how she gets involved with our Rotary Club. All right, let's move to the next one.
Well, then we say, please join me in welcoming our newest Rotarian, Kelly Dipple. Do you want to let her talk now? Sure.
Thank you, Sarju. I am super excited to be a part of the Rotary. My husband, my best friend, has been a Rotarian over 10, 15 years ago. So it's really fun to be here now. As Sarju mentioned, I am with Coldwell Banker. I started out in commercial, but I figured if you're doing something you love, you might as well do it 24/7. So I switched over to residential, and a big fun fact for me is anyone who travels with me knows that I travel with a hotspot, so that I'm always available for my clients. I have gone gorilla trekking and shark cage diving, and just went down the Nile. And what most people don't know, I have tried out for Survivor 5 times, and I got called back twice, but I haven't been taken to CBS to the show yet.
Back to.
Okay, back to me. All right. Now, second, I need to read this to make sure I get it right. Emily is my best friend and favorite person in the entire world. So that's what she asked me to say. But in all honesty, I do have the privilege of counting Emily as a close friend and someone whose positive energy, kindness, and generosity inspires me regularly. Emily is an executive with Bridge Bank, a board member of Sacred Heart Nativity School, and she's literally everywhere you go and everywhere you want to go. So I'm thrilled that we're able to finally pin her down and get her to join our club. She's going to be a tremendous asset to Rotary.
So please join me in welcoming our newest Rotarian, Emily Rubalcaba.
Wow, this is amazing. Sarju, thank you very much. So giving back has always been very, very important to me. And I learned this from my mother, who raised 9 kids on her own. I am number 4. Even though she wasn't able to give financially, she always helped others. And Rotary reminds me of her, because when I look at in this room and I look at all these faces and all that you do, it really does inspire me. I am surprised that I am just now becoming a member of Rotary. It literally did take a village. Not only did Sarju connect me, my friends back at that table, Megan Tenniscatter and Sean Cottle had a lot to do with it. And the person that I want to recognize is the person that introduced me to Rotary many, many years ago, and that is my very good friend, Bob Keeve. So I thank you all for accepting me into this group, and I look forward to building stronger relationships with you.
It's great to have you both in our club, and Emily, I know Bob would be so proud to see you here today, so thank you for mentioning him. All right, up next, we're going to hear from Douglas Smith to talk about the Fun and Friendship Committee. Doug, why don't you come on up?
All right, so we all come to Rotary because we believe strongly in service above self, and we stay for all the fun events that we do and the committees. So I'm going to start out. Let's see. All right. So the Fun and Friendship agenda, just going to give you an overview what to look forward to this year. Got to go quick here, we're out of time. So we're going to start with this month on the 20th. We're going to do a treasure scavenger hunt downtown San Jose. So it's coming up pretty quickly. This will be just a lot of fun. You can involve your whole family. You can have your kids. It'll be a great thing also to include your kids. A big thing for Karen this year. President Karen is to family. So get the family, get the kids, anyone. You can bring friends and guests, but this will be a lot of fun downtown. It's not a traditional scavenger hunt where you have a list of things you need to collect. It's more of a treasure hunt where you're given clues and you have tasks and things to do. It's a lot of fun, very interactive. So you can sign up to that today quickly. In September, where the date to be will be end of the month. It will be a hike led by Ashley Hopkins Pass. We did this once before, a lot of fun. We always bring a bit of wine and cheese for a picnic area. And then, as we discovered last year, we had a fireside at the Robin Rancho Robin Rescues. We're going to do 3 events there this year, and all this information's on the flyer on your table. We're going to do a November poker night, so look forward to this. If anybody, we still need to hire a professional to guide us. So if anybody knows a professional card player who can connect me to, that'd be great. Christmas in the Park, we always have a traditional social at Karen's spot on at the 88, where we have a great social with food and drinks, and then walk down to the park and have a great time there. So on the table, you will see a QR code, so you can easily sign up and be involved. Just one place easy. Bookmark it. There's always be the spot to sign up for the Fun and Friendship events. Now, most important, at the bottom of the paper, we also talk about coming up in May are the firesides. This is a spectacular time for you to open up your house, your business, someplace to have basically a social gathering at your house any time within the month of May. So start thinking about it. There's some ideas there. It's just a social gathering, a dinner, a sing-along, karaoke, games night, or whatever you might come up creative. But to think about it now, talk to me so we can start planning this and have it on the way for November or for May. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. And now that I'm not president, I'm looking forward to participating in all of those things. So that's going to be great. I know I saw my good friend Richard Alejandro there. Rod stopped talking to him because he needs to come on up here and talk to us about the Farm Worker Caravan, which is coming up quickly. Richard.
Good afternoon. So I was up here a couple of weeks ago and we talked about the caravan. This caravan is to help people that were victims of the flood in Pajaro, California, in addition to other farm workers. It's a very important event. I wanted to come up here and give you a few more facts because some people are not sure what's going on. So I'm going to try and make it as simple as I can. I said I was going to dumb it down, and Fernando said, no, you're going to simplify it. So, you know him. He's a linguist. So this is the way it works. And by the way, for all the people on Zoom, I'm sorry that you couldn't be on with us a couple of weeks ago because of technical difficulties, but it's good to have you, and please read the information that's put out on the, the weekly bulletin that Leslie puts out. So this is the way it's going to work. Next Wednesday, you will be able to bring, if you can't join us on the caravan, you will be able to bring your donations here. There's a list of things that are offered, which is on your table. I mean, that's available, or that they can use. It's on your table, and there's cash is accepted as well. We're going to do some gift cards with that. So bring it here. We will deliver it to a safe location from there. Then on Friday, the 18th, between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock, once again, if you can't join us on the 19th, you will be able to bring donations to History Park. So you all know, I think, know where History Park San Jose. If you don't, the corner of Phelan and Center Road, right down the street. There'll be a truck there accepting donations from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So that's an opportunity for you to bring things. Once again, the list is on the pamphlet on your desk. And then thirdly, the big day, the 19th, I hope you can all change your plans and join us, because this is going to be great. The whole idea, the big part of this effort is to show the plight that these people are in, how difficult life is for them. So all we're trying to do is bring attention to that and also to thank them. So once we leave here, so the gates are open at 8 o'clock. Let me give you that location in case there's a question about that. Same area, History Park, San Jose. However, when you turn on Phelan, keep going to the end of the street, and there's a big parking lot right there that's where we're going to meet before we take off for Pájaro. And you'll have the opportunity to register and decorate your car. I'm going to find some markers that are washable so you can say thank you and whatever you want to say on your car, the messages to these fine folks. From there, we'll take 101 to 128 to Pájaro. And the place where we're going to unload the donations is to be determined. I'll find out within the next week or so, and we will let you know. We will, at that point, unload everything there, and then we're going to do a little parade through the fields. Again, thanking these people, waving them, and doing whatever noise you want to do, just so they know that we're aware of the difficulties that they face. And after that, you'll be able to relax. We're going to Jalisco Restaurant, which is on Main Street in Watsonville, and there's going to be a brunch there. I encourage you to sign up for the brunch because there's limited space and it's filling up. So please do that. Now, I want to ask if there are any questions from the group. Yes, sir. Mr. Gil. That's the Spanish pronunciation. Oh,
Richard,
sorry.
we have a mountain of clothes in our den that we've been saving for this event, including some sleeping bags, and I noticed that clothing is not on the list.
You can bring clothing, yes. Initially, there was a question about that, but because we are donating to people that had issue with the flood, but in addition to all other farm workers, so there will be a need for clothing, yes.
Yes, if we're driving down on the caravan, do we just keep the stuff in, or do we drop it off next Wednesday or Friday, or?
If you're driving down, keep it in your car.
Got it.
It's more fun that way.
Sure, thank you.
Yes. Any other questions, comment, criticism? Thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry, one more in the back.
So I was thinking about the kids. Can we bring like coloring books and crayons and things like that for the kids?
It's a good question, and thank you for bringing it up. School's about to start. Anything you can bring that's related to kids and school is greatly, greatly appreciated. Okay? Okay, thank you very much. I want to welcome our new members to our club. I know them both. It's great to have you, and I'll see you on the caravan.
Okay. Thank you, Richard, and thank you for leading this important effort. I know this has been in the works for a while, and I'm glad to see it's finally here. Okay, going to keep moving this. These things are going to keep moving, okay. All right, before we get to our speaker, it's that time of year. Do we have any football fans out there? Okay. Things are looking pretty good for the 49ers right now. I was talking to Roger Milok earlier, and he says the odds in Reno for the 49ers to win the Super Bowl are what, 6-1? 8-1, 8-1. So it's looking to be one of their best seasons ever, and he has donated tickets, premium club level seats, to a couple of their upcoming preseason games. The first one's August 19th, after you get back from the caravan, I'd like to point out. The next one's the August 25th, the week after that, against the Broncos and then the Chargers. This includes club level bar, food and non-alcoholic beverages are free, 35-yard line, 49ers side of the field. These tickets with premium club access, they're valued at $314 each. So that is, at the very least, we're talking about a $628 value for each game. So we're going to auction these off to benefit the foundation. We're going to auction them off separately, so if you don't win the first game, you can be happy and bid on the second game. We're going to start the bidding for the first game against the Broncos, August 19th, at $400 for the pair. $400. Do I have 400? Yes.
Is it Saturday the
great
26th
question.
or Friday the 25th? I can also Google the calendar right now.
Someone should Google the calendar right now before I do. Before we get to the second one,
It's Friday the 25th.
it's
The game.
Friday the 25th. Okay, so it is
NFL
Friday the 25th.
49ers Chargers, Friday the 25th at 7.
Okay. Thank you for pointing that out. All right, $400, Sean O'Kane. Do I have 450? 450. 450 from Emily. Do I have 500? 500 from Arthur. Jew, that is, Arthur Jew. Do I have $600? 600, still undervalued. 600? We got 550 going once. $600 from Emily. Okay, 700. Do I have $700 for these two tickets? Making a donation to the foundation. Got 600 going once. 600 going twice. Okay, Emily Robin, you've got two tickets, $600. All right, now Friday, August 25th, 7 p.m. against the Chargers, same deal, same kind of tickets. We're going to start those off at $400 as well. Do we have $400 for those tickets? Bill Schroe, $400. Do we have $450? $450, Jack Serpa. Okay, you're good for that, right, G? Okay, do I have $500? $500 for Get Chargers. Bill Schroe. Do we have $600? $600 for these two tickets. Still under their face value. $600? I see $600 in the back. I think that is past President Burt George. Burt George at $600. Do we have anyone who would like to go to $700 for these tickets? $700, making a donation to the foundation. Going once at $600, going twice. Sold to Burt George in the back for $600. Thank you, Bill. The rest of us will be just sad and watching it on TV. All right, now I'd like to bring up James Williams, who is going to introduce our program today. James, can you make it up here? Did you need the ramp? Okay.
3 weeks of experience. Hopefully the last week. Okay, I am very excited to have today's speakers. It's a very important day because the School of Arts and Culture at the Mexican Heritage Plaza is one of the most important institutions in the South Bay. They are a hub of the community and of arts activities, engaging over 100,000 visitors annually. They have programs such as arts education. During the pandemic, they were a COVID vaccination center. They host a diverse array of performing arts events at the Heritage Plaza. They rent facilities to numerous nonprofits and private events, and they operate the Multicultural Arts Leadership Institute, a training program for leaders of color in the arts sector. But this is not only an arts and cultural institution, they have become the cultural heart of East San Jose Latino community. And they're also planning a significant expansion, both physically and strategically, of their mission, and that's what our guests are here to talk to you about today. We have the co-executive directors of the School of Arts and Culture, Jessica Paz-Cedillos and Vanessa Shieh.
So thank you, James. My name is Jessica Paz-Cedillos, and I am the co-executive director of the School of Arts and Culture at the Mexican Heritage Plaza.
And I am Vanessa Shieh, co-executive director at the School of Arts and Culture at the Mexican Heritage Plaza and work wife of Jessica Paz-Cedillos. Fantastic partner.
So today we're going to talk about co-leadership and how that has led to exponential impact for both the local community, the creative sector, and San Jose. But first, we're going to tell you a bit about our organization.
So this is an image of the Cesar Chavez March that happens every year with the Alum Rock Union School District. That's about 1,700 students on site that march to the plaza with the chants of Si se puede, right? And they have a program here. For the last 10 years, we've been lucky enough to host this event.
And our vision and our mission is broad enough for a cultural institution to lean into new bodies of work, which you will hear about. One of the things that we love is that we are catalyzing creativity and empowering community every day with our work.
We have a unique relationship with the city of San Jose. The Mexican Heritage Plaza is actually a city-owned facility. We are the operators of the facility. We have been the permanent operator since 2014. And we have a long-term lease to program and maintain and activate the plaza.
Now, I don't see the slide is up, but let's see what happens if I hit next. All right. So Vanessa and I, we are co-executive directors at the School of Arts and Culture. And so what we want to do is we want to tell you our origin story. So I am from East Oakland. I was raised and born in Oakland, California, by a single mother who immigrated to the United States from El Salvador. And I knew early on that I wanted to work for the creative sector because my family benefited from programs that helped us break the cycle of poverty. And I started my career working at the ACLU, never thinking, right, that I would end up working for a cultural organization. And I'm going to have Vanessa now talk about her origin story, and then we're going to tell you how we came into co-leadership about 1.5 years ago.
So my upbringing's very different from Jess's. I actually grew up in Mission Viejo in Southern Orange County, and I grew up in a school district with a lot of resources. And it actually wasn't until I started working in San Jose in an arts education program where I think I realized my own privilege and the disparity even in San Jose itself among school districts. I am your longest serving employee at the plaza. I've been with the organization over 11 years now. And I'm excited to say that every single year has been different and it's been exciting. And I think part of our story is that co-leadership can help with the fact that the work is hard and there's a lot of it, and you always have a partner in which you can kind of share that load, that responsibility, both the joys and the burdens.
And so for us, co-leadership happened when our predecessor, Tamara Alvarado, who was the founder of the School of Arts and Culture, went to lead the Shortino Family Foundation. And at the time, Tamara had approached me and said, hey, Jessica, I gave 3 names. Your name was one of those. And so I remember looking at the application process, and I remember Tamara telling me, right, the significance of the team, and specifically of Vanessa, who was also recruited with Tamara in order to lead the school in 2011. And so Vanessa and I, we met, we had conversations, and one of the things that I asked her, because at the time she was serving as interim executive director, is, are you interested in becoming the executive director? And if she had said yes, I would not have applied. I think for a woman of color who had dedicated at that time, I think 7 years, right, to the organization, I would not want to be in a position where I am taking something from someone, right? And so Vanessa, I remember saying, right, she thought it was incredibly important for the organization to be succeeded by a Latina leader, right? And so we then started talking about, well, what would it look like for 2 women of color, 1 Latina, 1 Chinese American, working in East San Jose to be co-leads? And so informally, when I joined the School of Arts and Culture as executive director, we actually functioned as co-leads. So internally, the team knew, right, that if you needed a decision, you were coming to the both of us, and we were negotiating and we were having conversation, always centering the community. Now, the real work for us was bringing our board along. And so Alexandra, who is on our board, knows this. We engaged with a consultant, Genera, who worked with us in order to bring the board along and to become a co-leadership model for the school?
We often joke that, we think that the board's biggest concern was to answer the question like, well, who's going to go to jail, right? And then we're like, oh, well, now you got 2 people going to jail, but the real answer is no one should go to jail, right? And I think that, one of the things that we know in the arts and cultural sector, right, is that a co-leadership model is not something that is unique. Often there are artistic and managing directors sharing, the responsibilities, taking on different perspectives. And as we have found, especially since the pandemic, a number of our sister agencies, whether in the arts and cultural field, whether in our neighborhood or in social service, are really taking a look at co-leadership models. And I think that 2 things kind of surface for us that really resonate when we think about our own co-leadership. One, it's typically a model that is initiated by staff. And then 2, you have to be very mindful of the relationship between the partners and lean into individual strengths.
And so for us, the moment where we were able to demonstrate, right, this is why we are advocating for co-leadership, it was during the pandemic. And so I will tell you, right, for a cultural institution, we are the permanent operators of the Mexican Heritage Plaza, 6 acres. We see about 100,000 folks a year. And when the pandemic hit, and when the first shelter-in-place order went into effect, that meant that 1/3 of our revenue was in jeopardy because we had to halt all of our programs, including our events. And typically, we're working with over 60 local partners, local artists, multicultural groups in order to activate our space. And so Vanessa and I, during that time, so all the other staff, they were working from home, but we were coming into the office. And for us, the question before us is, how do we ensure that we keep our team intact and lean into an emergency response that is going to be of service to our community? And so we did that.
And what we had was 6 acres of space and a team that really knew how to move community through our facility. So what we did was we were able to partner, completely benefiting from the championing of our partners to Second Harvest Silicon Valley. Because as you can imagine, in a pandemic, Second Harvest was not interested in any new partnerships, right? But we had our allies reach out and advocate for us so that we became a drive-through food distribution center. We continue, in fact, actually, Mercadito, which is a farmer's market-inspired food distribution, is taking place right now at the plaza. And we also worked with the city of San Jose that allowed us to access our capital repair and replacement fund to purchase digital equipment so that we could actually create content, right? One of the things that creative sector really struggled with was, how am I going to remain connected to my audiences during this time? And also, I can help with messaging, culturally competent messaging to communities. So we were able to work with the Knight Foundation, got a grant, and we created a campaign where we partnered with 6 other agencies for content. And then finally, we worked with Gardner Health Services to test and vaccinate 40,000 of our neighbors and community members at the plaza.
And what was impactful about our testing and vaccination is that we were the first in the nation to pilot a system that didn't require appointments. And the reason why that was significant for our community, which is primarily Latino, primarily Vietnamese, immigrant, and working class, is that we know, right? I think it's well documented that communities of color were disproportionately impacted by the health crises. And at the time, and this is a stat that I'm incredibly proud of. So at the time, when the county was documenting, right, how many folks are getting vaccinated. So in Santa Clara County, if you were 65 or older and you were white, 61% had gotten vaccinated. And in Mayfair, in 95116 zip code, if you were Latino and you were 65 and older, 60% of folks were being vaccinated. And so what that proved locally, but also on a regional scale, is that a place-based approach, when led by organizations that understand their community, we could drive real impact. And so we provided a contrast to what was happening nationally, right? And so I think that that for us was a real moment of recognition. And the fact that the creative sector, right, was able to lead an emergency response with partners was significant. Now, I will say, right, that what continues to happen in our partnership is we're looking at recovery differently, right? So we are a cultural organization, and we are now looking at the built environment.
And so
that's
this
not
is the opportunity, right? We've spent the first 10 years of the plaza really asking ourselves, how best do we program inside the walls of the plaza? And now, especially because of the pandemic, and actually a lot of credit to Jess and her leadership, we're looking outside the walls of the plaza now. How do we inform and influence what is happening in our neighborhood?
And so this is an aerial image of La Plaza. We are in East San Jose, and we are only a 7-minute drive to downtown. And so I'm gonna give you some stats on this community. So again, Latino, Vietnamese, immigrant, working class. When you think about your essential workers, this is where they live, right? They live in Mayfair and in East San Jose. Ironically, Mayfair is also in advanced stages of gentrification. And so what does that mean? That means that folks are buying up property, flipping it, and selling it for higher prices. Or they're buying the property, they're not really doing anything with it, but they're increasing the rent. And so typically in our neighborhood, you have anywhere from 3 to 4 families living in one home. And we know, right, that there is a stark economic divide here in this valley. There is both tremendous wealth, but there is also tremendous poverty. And so for us, as a cultural institution that celebrates the rich diversity of San Jose, we understand that if we are not actively influencing the built environment, we're actually a part of the problem, right? Anytime someone comes to experience our festivals where community is being built, they think, hey, that's a place that's up and coming. What would it look like for us to live there? And while we welcome the new, we also believe that it is important to have strategies to ensure that we are able to protect and to preserve our community. We need both, right? And so for us, the new body of work is community development. And so what Vanessa is going to go through right now are the different projects that we envision.
So you first have this pink building directly across the street from the plaza, right? I lovingly refer to it as Plaza Junior. We purchased this building in January along with Gardner Health Services. This is a 30,000 square foot building that will house a black box theater, a cafe, and a family wellness service that will include medical and mental health services for the community. The pink portion across the street is the plaza itself, right, pre-existing. We also envision being able to build a 5-story commercial property on what we call our gravel lot. It's a dirt pad right in front of the plaza. We also will build a parking structure in what is currently our Alum Rock parking lot because, one, right now public transportation is not reliable in East San Jose, and a lot of families have 2 to 3 jobs in order just to kind of make ends meet, and they can't rely on public transportation to take them there. We also will build affordable housing in our King parking lot, and that parking structure will serve that as well. We hope that this will be affordable, housing across the board, so that if you are a case manager working at Amigos de Guadalupe and you want to live in the neighborhood, you can, right? Fundamentally, our goal is that we are not creating, or only offering exit strategies out of Mayfair, but instead offering ways in which people who want to choose to live there can thrive.
And so we're going to go through some of the renderings that have been put together. And so this is La Placita, which will include a black box theater and also a family wellness center that will be run and operated by Gardner Health Services. And then what you see here is what we call our gravel lot. We envision building additional commercial space, which will be for local businesses, social service agencies, in addition to SOAC. We need additional office space. And then Chris decided to put a restaurant at the top. And then here, you have our affordable housing. And so this is a rendering for 100 units. We have been in conversations with both the city and the county, and they've asked us, right, would we be interested in building higher? And for us, it's a negotiation. We know that housing is sorely needed in our community. Now, we center folks here because our priority is the property across the street, right? And in January of this year, we were very fortunate to announce that we were able to take that property off the market. And we expect that at the tail end of 2024, we will be able to break ground in order to do the tenant improvements to bring to life the Black Box Theater and the Family Wellness Center. And then this is what the building looked like, and this is what we envision.
And so, as you can see, on the leftmost side, we have 4 existing tenants. These are small business owners, and we have no intention of displacing them, right? So Chris Esparza, who is our Director of Community Development, likes to use the phrase, hey, part of our value is shared prosperity, right? We don't want to displace the current business owners. The middle 10,000 square feet is where Gardner Health Services will have their Family Wellness Center. And then the last 10,000 square feet is the Black Box Theater, as well as the Theater Cafe. The staff at the plaza really would love to be able to get a good cup of coffee. And then, the Black Box Theater, for many of our arts and cultural partners, it is difficult to go from really performing and practicing in your garage or your living room to filling a 500-seat theater. The plaza has a 500-seat theater. So this will be a middle point where people can kind of land. It will be about a 200-seat theater. And for us, that's a way to stabilize the sector.
And then this is, again, an aerial shot of the development projects that we are taking on over the next 5 to 10 years. We did notice that those are Google colors. Now, the reason why, right? So for us, it is about the preservation of cultures, traditions, and identities.
And it's also important to be able to give a nod to the fact that cultural organizations like the School of Arts and Culture can lead the work and lead solution finding for communities like East San Jose. One, if we create a cultural district, we also hope that it can be overlaid with the economic district, right? We are hoping to bring, be able to fuel the local economy. And we also know, as you all know, that property owners get to make decisions, right? So we're excited. I think a lot of effort, a lot of conversation often trends toward how do we, flow residents and visitors to downtown. However, there are so many key destinations in East San Jose, in Japantown, right, as well as SoFA. So how do we have a mutual flow of visitors and residents to all these fantastic assets within our city?
And so just so y'all know, right, San Jose has no cultural districts, right? And I will say what I know people in this room probably already know. When we think about San Jose, right, sometimes we compare ourselves to San Francisco, and I think that that's a mistake. There is significance in our community. And what would it look like for us to boldly name it? And so for the School of Arts and Culture, when we're thinking about championing a cultural district, we're not just thinking about the East Side. We are thinking about Japantown. We are thinking about SoFA, right? So one fact that I will share with all of y'all, San Jose has one of 3 remaining Japantowns, but officially we have no cultural district. And the way we envision cultural district is you can use that as a strategy in order to preserve and really uplift the rich diversity of our communities. And so that's what we're planning on doing.
So we want to share with you, right, some more imagery about what that cultural district could look like, specifically looking at East San Jose. So this is a portion of the Alum Rock corridor, right, from the Five Wounds Church to the plaza. And we, work with our partners, the business owners, the residents, right, to ask them, what is significant? What do you need a cultural district? What will resonate with you?
And the reason why for us, specifically San Jose, when you think about La Plaza and also the sister agencies, the local businesses and the residents, Mayfair is sacred ground, right? La Plaza was built on one of the sites of Cesar Chavez's first grocery store boycotts, right? And when you think about the fact that Cesar Chavez, his neighborhood home, or his home, is also in the neighborhood, that's historical legacy, right, that we want to be able to listen for. So for us, East San Jose, where La Plaza is located, it's a no-brainer. And so some of the things that we are really proud of include,
you know, like I was saying, key destinations along this corridor, including Little Portugal, right? Quetzal Gardens, where our sister agency, Somos Mayfair, is located. Again, the Five Winds Church. The plaza itself, we can't leave it out.
All right, so we're gonna end the presentation with a video that Chris Esparza, who is our Director of Community Development, narrated. We always blame him for this vision. He's a big thinker and we love him for it. He would be here with us, but instead we have him doing the voiceover for this video. So we're gonna.
The School of Arts and Culture's new work adds and develops assets for our neighborhood. In doing so, we deepen opportunities for our shared community life. The anchor of community life is always home. And we hope that we can offer La Plaza as a home to people as part of an affordable housing project we seek to build on our King Road parking lot. Imagine a home for 100 local families who choose to thrive here. These are homes that could be for our working class families, teachers, and artists, thanks in part to the local preference policy recently passed by the state of California. Imagine moving from home to a new parking garage in what is now our Alum Rock Avenue lot. This garage will provide over 600 spaces for our neighbors who still cannot rely on public transit, as well as a rooftop park. This same paseo takes us to a 5-story tiered commercial space that will bring more services to residents, more spaces for entrepreneurs, and more classrooms for the School of Arts and Culture's future students. Every great vision needs to start somewhere. This is where La Plaza's future begins. In this 28,000 square foot property across the street from La Plaza on Alum Rock Avenue. It starts with a neighborhood cafe where friends can gather, a 200-seat black box theater where our partners can create, and a wellness center operated by Gardner Health Services that will take care of our families. And it starts with not displacing the 4 businesses that currently occupy the space, because we believe in inclusive prosperity, not just prosperity for those who are coming, but more importantly, prosperity for those who are here now. That is, we believe that this vision holds a place for all of East San Jose. Welcome home.
All right, now we've got some time for questions. They're mad at me. And one of them will answer it.
My name's Tim Gill. Excuse me. I admire your ambitious plans, but I'm wondering how you're going to finance this. Who are your financial partners?
Okay, so I love that question, right?
It's a good question.
And so the first thing I will say, if you are inspired by this vision, we want to talk to you. And then I'll start with La Plaza Junior, or La Placita. So that is, it started as a $20 million capital campaign. It went up to $25 million. It is at $27 million now. And I am happy to report that we are $3.8 million away from closing that gap. And the partners include the city of San Jose. It includes Santa Clara County. It includes foundations like Packard and Hewlett, in addition to individuals. We've had family foundations who are inspired by what we are trying to create. And so they doubled down and they took a risk with us. Originally, they took a risk with us because we didn't own the building and we were heavily fundraising for it. I will say that the capital campaign for part 2, which includes the affordable housing and then the commercial space on the gravel lot, that is going to be a lot more money. Now, we are very fortunate because both the city and the county have housing goals, affordable housing goals. And so we will leverage that in addition to federal, state, and city and county money in order to build the affordable housing. However, when it comes to the commercial space, there is going to be a gap, and we are actively fundraising for that, right?
Okay, I have a question. May I?
Maggie?
Thank you. So this is the first I'm hearing about these wonderful things you're doing and the fundraising. Do you have any plans to make this more public to the general public through PR and marketing and social media? Because I haven't seen anything, and I think that would be very advantageous to have people know, the general public know what you're planning to do and how you can help.
Please follow us on all our social media channels at school at MHP, right? Where we have had posts about this. We have been offering this presentation for about 2 years now. If you were at our last Tres Vinos event last October, we actually went public then, right? And you will find more information on our website, schoolofartsandculture.org. And as we kind of get to a place where we're closing that gap and we have all the funding in place, we will have a campaign and a strategy to communicate even more so.
And then I will state, right, we've been very fortunate to have partnerships across sectors, right? So you're right? Not everyone knows, right, what we are trying to do. And I think, James and Sal, right, incredibly grateful to be here, to be able to speak with all of you, right? We're socializing this idea, which is actively taking place. And I also want to give a shout out to Terry Christensen, which I know is no longer with Valley Politics, but his last show, he reached out to both Vanessa and I, and we talked about La Avenida, and that was an incredible opportunity because that is how we're going to reach, right, a wider audience, because this doesn't become a reality without your help, right?
Okay, we'll give the last question to the shill in the room. Fernando?
Well, this isn't a question so much as it is a thank you. As a founder of the Mexican Heritage Plaza back in 1988 is the beginning of all of this, I can't tell you how excited I am and how proud I am at the vision that the two of you have exhibited in bringing this to the entire city of San Jose rather than just the east side. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And with that, I'd like to thank you both for the presentation and for doing what you're doing for East San Jose. As someone who grew up there and has spent a lot of time there, I'm really excited about the vision that you have. In your name, names, a donation has been made to Loaves and Fishes, which is helping to keep Santa Clara County fed. Next week, our speaker will be Sabore Ole Oye, speaking about clean water in Kenya and his work with the trash punks. I'd like to thank today our speakers. I'd like to thank James, Sarah Klish, Roger Mylock for his incredibly generous donation again, Sarjun Aran for introducing our two newest members, Emily Rubikova and Karen Dipple, that is, Douglas Smith for talking to us about, Kelly Dipple, I don't know why I wrote Karen, Kelly Dipple, Doug Smith, Richard Alejandro, Megan Tennisketter. Thank you all for being part of the show this week. We'll see you next week. I'd say keep the good times rolling, right? But meeting adjourned.